afternoon. Welcome to the Midday News on 3FM 92.7. Coming up this afternoon, over 173 female students of Tolon Senior High School displaced by a Monday morning fire incident were live in the area for the very latest. Also, cocoa farmers issue a 2-week ultimatum to government to settle their outstanding debt or face their wrath as they lament severe financial distress caused by prolonged payment delays. And we'll go behind the numbers and interrogate the delegate voter dynamics in the just ended NPP Presidential primary, which saw Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia elected as the NPP's flag bearer. Also later, Parliament to resume from recess tomorrow. Key major issues to be considered include the reintroduced anti-LGBT bill and the motion for an inquiry into the alleged goldbod losses. Details of this and more shortly. Many thanks for joining us. Let's begin the bulletin from here. Over 173 female students of Tolon Senior High School have been displaced by a Monday morning fire incident. 10 of the girls who were shocked by the incident were rushed to the Tolon Hospital for medical attention. Students say they are traumatized by the incident, and our correspondent in the region, Grace Hammoah, working the phone to get to talk to him on what the update is. Are they responding to treatment and what the latest has been? When we are able to get through to him, we'll bring you that detail. But the latest is that over 173 female students of Tolon Senior High School have been displaced by a Monday morning fire incident. 10 of the girls who were shocked by the incident were rushed to the Tolon Hospital for medical attention. The students say they are traumatized by the incident, especially when it's happening on a Monday morning. There were no signs or any of that, and now they've had to go through this disaster. Christopher Makuma working the phone to talk to him to bring us the latest on that. We'll update you when we are able to get to him. But while we're working on that, Parliament will resume from recess tomorrow, February 3, to consider major national issues to deepen accountability and its oversight across sectors. The return of the Pandai MP Matthew Nyindam and a new lawmaker for Ayawasi East will feature some of the highlights as the president delivers a sessional address on the state of the nation later. Passage of the 24-hour economy bill, the legal education reforms bill, and the likely reintroduction of the anti-LGBTQ bill will be a prominent feature. We'll bring you a lot more on the issues Parliament will be discussing, but Christian Yale is our correspondent in Parliament. We are going to speak to him on what we should be expecting and how the first day of the resumption should look like. Christopher, can you hear me? Talk to us what we should be expecting from Parliament from tomorrow. Christopher, if you can hear me, update us on what we should be expecting from the House tomorrow.
All right, and so a lot is expected to happen, and even from the early morning, the leadership of Parliament would engage the press call to provide key information concerning some of the things that are expected to happen in the upcoming sitting. But apart from that, you would expect that Matthew Nyindam, who is the member of Parliament for Pandai, who has been reinstated, is going to make a return, as well as later, you know that on March 3rd, there's going to be a by-election in Ayawasi East, which will produce a new MP for that particular a constituency. Now, the State of the Nation address by the president would come, as well as the new mining agreements on the lithium deal, as well as other mining commodities, would be maturing over the period, which means that there will be that ratification when the 21-day maturity is sealed. But, Grace, also because it is important, the 24-hour economy bill, the legal education reforms bill, and then the possible reintroduction of the anti-LGBTQ bill would all be done. So right now, when you get to Parliament, there are ongoing preparations inside the chamber. Microphones are being tested, as well as the necessary adjustments that need to be done. But it is going to be interesting, and also because the minority has already said notice that they are going to block any rushed passage of key legislations by the majority side. Christian,
we also know that President Mahama will deliver a sessional address in the House. Why is this important? What form is it likely to take? Talk to us also on that.
Yeah, it is very important to know the state of the nation, and that is something that's per the Constitution. Every year, the President does to provide the country with the update concerning how far we have fared over the last year and what are going to be the key projections going into the ensuing year of that particular year. And so that becomes very important also because it gets that opportunity to directly speak to the MPs who provide key oversight responsibilities of all the various sectors, which is why we have all the committees, the various committees across the sectors, economy, finance, agri, and what have you, so that they are able to get the juicy details and be abreast of all the necessary details, and then they question the kinds of policies that the government would intend to undertake over the period. And so that is very important to do, also because we are not going to have the budget, as it were, because it was read before the agenda in December. Would wait for the mid-year budget review, which would come in the second meeting of this year. And so the SONA becomes very important for all major stakeholders. You have the diplomatic community, being Parliament, as well as other key stakeholders appear to listen to the President, and then afterwards they will do what you call the post-mortem analysis to see, and especially on the minority front.
And Christian, let's talk about Matthew Nyindam. He's not new to the House, but he's coming in maybe as a new MP because of the ruling that came from the Supreme Court. What should we expect from the minority, even as well as also himself?
See, as for the minority, they are not ready to lose any more members. Right now, they are 86. When Matthew Nyindam returns, it brings their number up to 87 against 188, because the majority has also lost one MP at Ayawaso East. And so after this by-election, which is upcoming, we're going to see which of the two sides would get an additional number to add to their figures. And so Nyindam's return becomes very important. Now, after all the necessary procedures have been undertaken, from the Electoral Commission, from writing to Parliament, or from the clerk writing to the Electoral Commission to get that official announcement made, he would return to the House to resume his work. Like you said, he is not new, but the expectation is that now that he is back, it adds that strength to the minority side, who would want to give the majority MPs any little chance for them to have their way. Now, when you listen to even the minority leader yesterday who spoke, engaged NPP stakeholders in his constituency, there is that clarion duty on them or on their side to ensure that they scrutinize all government policies and ensure that there is proper accountability. And so that is only going to give them further breadth or additional strength for them to undertake their work. And so it is a plus for the minority side, who are thinking that, if possible, they would claim the Ayawaso East seat as well to make their numbers 88 in the end.
Right. Christian, thank you for those updates. Christian Yali, my colleague, updating us on happenings in Parliament tomorrow, because the House is going back after recess, telling us all we need to know, especially also because around the time the President will also present a sessional State of the Nation's address. Talking about the State of the Nation, cocoa farmers in Ghana have given government a 2-week ultimatum to pay their outstanding debt or face their wrath. The farmers, who are facing severe financial distress due to significant payment delays for being supplied during the 2025-26 season, say they are compelled to sell to other cocoa purchasing markets. The debt dates back to November 2025 as a Ghana Cocoa Board grapples with a debt exceeding 32 billion cedis, forcing farmers to threaten smuggling and demand immediate payment. Let's bring in Stevenson Ananibuateng. He is president of the Ghana National Cocoa Farmers Association, NACOFA. Mr. Boateng, thank you for making time to talk to us this afternoon.
Thank you.
Right. Cocoa farmers have given government a 2-week ultimatum of unpaid being supplied since September 2025. What exactly are farmers demanding, and what action should government expect if this ultimatum is ignored?
Thank you, and good morning to the listeners. That is very true. Just that I'm not aware of those who have given ultimatum of 2 weeks or whatever. Ghana National Cocoa Farmers Association have decided, the executives have decided this Wednesday coming to take a decision on that. So we haven't actually given a mandate on when and how we are going to react on this delay of payments, and etc. But then it is our worry so much. It is our worry since November to date. We are encountering such a problem, and our payments, our cocoa sold are not paid. You know, it's not fair to the government and the cocoa board, because this is a long time agreement which we have signed, and any time cocoa goes up in the country, we don't hear anything from the government, just that he is buying, and whatever accrued profit he makes, that is, he doesn't make any account, it's not accountable to any farmer. And therefore, if the situation has come and cocoa board is not prepared to say or tell we cocoa farmers anything about it, then I think Ghana National Cocoa Farmers Association is prepared to meet on Wednesday and see what we can also do and what we can also say to the public, because it's been unfair that the cocoa farmers are not being paid since November, and the government has not come out to tell us anything, and cocoa board has not come out to tell us anything. But things are going on just like they don't bother to see our problems.
So, Martin, do you know that the prices of cocoa have also fallen on the global markets? Do you think that might be a reason why you're not getting any response from government, or your money is not coming?
That is not our problem, cocoa farmers' problem. I always refer to the 2 years back when cocoa increased to 12,500 per bag those days. And we were being paid at 2,000. So the profit that government accrued, what did he do with the money? And for that matter, he's coming to tell us that if the cocoa has come down and so forth. This is not the case. Cocoa board has did not receive what do you call it? The money he collects from these people every year. That's syndicated loan. That is why this thing had become a problem. And if cocoa board and the government cannot stand to buy cocoa any longer, it should let we cocoa farmers aware, because government doesn't have cocoa farm in the country. We cocoa farmers own cocoa farms. So if government think he can no longer continue doing that business, then he should let us know. Then he come and then he say he does not tell us anything. And cocoa board, who is representing cocoa government on cocoa interventions, are also keeping silent on this issue. In fact, we are very, very agreeable to that extent, because it's not fair and it's unfair, and it's also going to make this government unpopular if he continues making these issues happen like that. And we don't want it to happen.
And you say that when you reach out to Cocoa Board, they don't tell you anything. What do they say?
Yes. I mean, why do they expect us to reach him? They are the people, and for a long time, as I've been telling you, a lot of letters have been written to them, and they never reply. So this time round, we have decided not to, write any letter again. Since we write and they will not reply, in fact, it's unfair to us, and we are not prepared to write any letter. But then we are going to take decisions on what we are going to tell the public on Wednesday.
Right.
We'll come Wednesday, when we finish our meeting, that is where we can also express our feelings to the public and the government.
Definitely, Mr. Barton. We'll definitely come back to you on Wednesday and get details of what the association has decided to do, especially with the delay of your payment for your cocoa beans that government has purchased. Thank you for talking to us. Stevenson Anane is president of the Ghana National Association of Cocoa Farmers. He says they are meeting on Wednesday to decide the next action on government delay in releasing their funds for cocoa they have sold to government. Let's go back to the Tolon Senior High School on that fire disaster, and over 173 female students of the Tolon Senior High School have been displaced by a Monday morning fire incident. 10 of the girls who were shocked by the incident were rushed to the Tolon Hospital for medical attention. The students say they are traumatized by the incident. Christopher Mako is joining us on the phone. Christopher, we know you have been to the school. Talk to us the severity of this fire disaster.
Yes, so Grace, I must say that it's very severe for the affected students. As we speak, the management of the school, together with other stakeholders, have asked the affected students to go home for a week so that the school management would put in place adequate measures to ensure that by the time they return, that they will have a place to sleep and also go about their academic activities. And so, as we speak, these affected students will be leaving the school immediately after management is done with its meeting. Now, the other issue is that the incidents of fire in the northern parts of the country, especially in senior high schools, is becoming one too many, because we remember 2 years ago the Karaga Senior High School, even the Tolon Senior High School, where this incident has happened. 2 years ago there was a similar incident at that particular school. Worrying enough is the fact that it has to do with a girls' dormitory, and so management have indicated that they are going to put in place adequate measures to monitor and ensure that this does not happen again. Grace, let me also report that the deputy administrator of GET who is already in the region to assess the impact of the fire on the Northern School of Business, was shocked to also hear about the incident at Tolon Senior High School. So as we speak, he's just left the Tolon Senior High School heading back to Tamale. He says that he has observed for himself the level of damage and will be communicating to the administrator of GetFund so that to take measures to immediately reduce the incident.
Christopher, thank you for those updates. How are the students responding, the 10 who were rushed to the hospital?
Yes, we are told by management that they've been attended to and they are doing well. The other students we met on campus were also traumatized, looking at their faces, but they are gathering the only materials of gear that they can get hold of. Most of them have lost everything to the fire, but some of them are now counting their losses after the incident.
Right, Christopher, thank you for those updates. We'll definitely come back to you for more. Christopher Mako is my colleague, bringing us updates on that fire incident at the Tolon Senior High School. We'll be going to the quarters of the New Patriotic Party very soon because of what exactly happened over the weekend. Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia elected as a flag bearer of the NPP going into the 2028 elections. But while we go there, let us take a dash quickly through the courts and then we'll come back to the NPP, because the High Court has ordered Chief Executive of defunct Men's Gold Company Limited, Nanapia Mensah, aka Namwan, to file his witness statement after he attempted to give oral testimony. Namwan has opened his defense after the Supreme Court dismissed his application to quash the High Court's decision. Namwan and his two companies have been charged with buying and selling gold without license, defrauding by false pretense, and money laundering. Lord Edward Sari is our eye and ear at the court. Lord, briefly talk to us what this means to the continuance or the processing of the case.
Right, great. So a bit of background here. You saw that at the last time we were in court, the Supreme Court had dismissed Namwan's application to quash the High Court decision. Now, today in court, his lawyers indicated that they had filed a repeat application to quash the decision of the High Court, which ordered him to opened defense after a prima facie was established against him. Now, they indicated that they had withdrawn that application, and so what it meant was that Namwan can now open his defense. Now, Namwan chose to give oral evidence or testimony as far as his case is concerned, and so he actually started, and then along the line, he indicated to the court that, for example, they had written letters to PMMC and then acquired the license to operate as a gold dealership firm. But then the presiding judge in the matter indicated that he cannot make in such evidences without documentary evidence. And so the court then ordered him to file his witness statements, which will include him adding exhibits of evidence of his license and other documentation that he intends to rely on. Another thing that Namwan indicated was that he's going to get separate lawyers for the two other entities. Grace should know that Namwan, apart from he himself being the chief executive, his other entities, View Marketing Concepts and one other, have also been charged with the charges that he is facing as well. So he's indicated that he's going to get separate lawyers to defend those separate entities. So the case is back in court on February 19, by which time the court has indicated that he should have filed his witness statements for all three accused persons, and then the case will proceed from there, Grace.
Right, Lord, thank you for those updates. Lord Edwasari, our man in the court. Let us now come to the headquarters of the New Patriotic Party, and in a resounding display of dominance, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia was declared the outright winner of the New Patriotic Party NPP Presidential primary, clinching the party's flag bearership for the 2028 elections with a sweeping victory in 14 of the country's 16 regions. The Electoral Commission released the final certified results late Saturday night following the primary, confirming that Dr. Bawumia secured 110,643 votes, equivalent to 56.48% of the total valid ballot cast by over 196,000 delegates at 333 polling stations nationwide. From the regional breakdowns, Dr. Bawumia triumphed in key strongholds such as Ashanti, where he polled nearly 20,000 votes, Greater Accra around 19,800 votes, Eastern, Western North and Bono East with approximately 69,000 votes. 69% in the region alone are for a clean sweep across all constituencies, Northern and Upper East, over 60%, despite one minor loss in a single constituency and several others. Kennedy Ohene Japan, former Asin Central MP, placed second with 46,554 votes, representing 23.76%, whilst former Food and Agric Minister Dr. Brian Champon finished third with 36,303 votes, capturing 18.53% of the vote. But the contest for the NPP's presidential slot now firmly settled, attention is already shifting to the running mate conversation. Dr. Brian Champon's strong showing in the primaries has ignited growing speculation within party circles, with some suggesting a Bawumia-Champon partnership could present a formidable challenge to the governing NDC in 2028. Fresh data emerging from the just ended primary suggests that these conversations may not be premature. Well, we're joined in the studio by Ebenezer Nyako, who is Executive Director for EN Analytics, to help us unpack what the data is telling us. Mr. Nyako, thank you for joining us in the studio this afternoon.
Thank you, too.
Let's start with the data and what key trends are emerging from the results.
Okay, so I want us to look. Now, what we are seeing in the data is that Ken in 2020. Regions of Ghana, Ken won in Central region. He was competitive in Greater Accra region. He won in Volta, and he also did well in Western region. So Ken's support in 2023 were basically in the swing regions of Ghana, plus opposition territory. Another data point from the 2023 primaries was that where Bawumia was doing well, Mahama did well in the general elections, Bawumia was not doing well per the primaries. But Ken was doing well. It means that in the general elections, Bawumia suffered some amount of deficit in areas where Ken won in the primaries.
Right. Because we have just some few minutes to end the bulletin, let me quickly do these numbers point to a growing influence of Brian Champong within the NPP? It is his first time, and look at how he's showing winning Volta region.
Exactly. In fact, he went to where Ken is strong and took those regions as his own. And he won in 8 regions between Ken and Brian. Each one won, let's say, we are taking Dr. Bawumia
out of it.
Each won 8. Brian won in areas that would be more beneficial to the NPP as a party. He won in Volta, Oti, he won in Upper East, Upper West. He also won in Northern, and even the home region of the sitting president, and Bono East. These are the regions where NDC is strong. Ken is saying that if you are looking for a fighter who will go into the opposition territory and take vote for the NPP,
then
I
it's
am
Brian
the person.
Champong.
If you are looking for somebody who can tell you they are listening, if you are looking for a technocrat, if you are looking for a fighter, I am the blend of Bawumia and Ken. That is the person you see in Brian. That is why the base is so solidly behind him.
But what does this data tell us about Ghana's electoral architecture and the broader chance of Dr. Bawumia going in 2028? The Bawumia Champong thing, should we be looking at it?
It's going to be a very strong candidate if it comes on. But the problem is that it has to be, Bawumia has to be somebody like Trump to be a disruptor to win 2028. Because Ghana's architecture is situated within 8-year mandate for a party.
Right.
So currently, the NDC has been given a mandate from 2024 till 2032. In the minds of Ghanaians, that is what we have given them. So you have to be somebody like Donald Trump with a strong disruptive characteristics to disrupt that pattern.
To break that.
Since 1992, nobody has disrupted that 8-year architecture of the Ghanaian electoral system. So for Bawumia to win, it has to take something extraordinary.
That tells me that you were not even shocked at the result that came out at the end of the day.
No, never. Never. Yes.
Right. Mr. Thank you for bringing us those. It's a conversation we will keep having until probably 2028 or even after, looking at how you're saying it's an 8-year mandate. So thank you for joining us in the studio. Ibrahim Nyako is Director of EN Analytics, bringing the bulletin to an end here on 3FM 92.7. My name is Grace Hammoah Ajiman. Thank you for joining us. You can log on to 3news.com and get some more stories. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Business Daily on 3FM 92.7. Coming up, fuel prices rise in Ghana as oil marketing companies align with new pricing floor. And CATS International Consumer Advocacy Group raises concerns over cash and carry systems preventing consumers from benefiting from policy rate cuts. Plus, investor appetite surges as government records fifth straight consecutive Treasury bill oversubscription in 2026, with latest auction oversubscribed by 144%. I am Michael Obodu. Details of these and many other stories coming up shortly. Please stay. Thank you so much for your time. Straight into our top story. And motorists across Ghana are facing slightly higher costs at the pumps today, February 2, 2026, as major oil marketing companies begin adjusting prices upwards. The surge follows a new directive from the National Petroleum Authority and a challenging month for the Ghana cedi. The price hikes, which began in earnest yesterday, saw petrol and diesel prices climb between 2 and 5%. Industry experts point to two primary culprits: the 0.77 percentage point depreciation of the cedi against the dollar in January, and a sudden spike in international crude oil prices, which jumped from $64 to nearly $70 per barrel in just 48 hours. While many firms are still finalizing the reviews, several major players have already confirmed their new rates. At Goil, petrol is now selling at 9 cedis 99 pesos per litre, while diesel has increased to 11 cedis 90 pesos. Zen Petroleum is pricing petrol now at 9 cedis 99 pesos, up from 9 cedis 94 pesos, while diesel at 11 cedis 44 pesos, effective today. The market leader, Star Oil, has adjusted petrol to 9 cedis 99 pesos to meet the new price floor, but notably maintained its diesel price at 10 cedis 95 pesos, which is also in tandem with the floor price. Now, away from that, in a major move to modernize the nation's capital market, the Ghana Stock Exchange has officially rolled out its new listed rules today, February 2, 2026. This comprehensive update replaces the outdated regulations that have governed the equity market since 2006, nearly 2 decades ago. This report has more.
The rules replace the 2006 listing rules and will apply to all new applications, submissions, filings, and continuing obligations on the exchange from February 2, 2026. In a statement, the GSE said market participants and issuers are being advised to familiarize themselves fully with the new framework. The exchange also announced plans to hold an engagement session to provide guidance and improve understanding of the provisions with the aim of ensuring full compliance. The introduction of the new rules comes after a strong year for the local bourse. The Ghana Stock Exchange ended 2025 as the best performing stock market in Africa, posting a return of more than 137% in dollar terms in 2025. The market capitalization also rose sharply, increasing by about 55% from 111 billion cedis at the end of 2024 to 172 billion cedis by the close of December 2025. The exchange says the updated rules are expected to support market growth and strengthen investor confidence.
And that was a 3 Business News Desk report. Away from that, the government of Ghana's domestic borrowing program kicked off the year with significant momentum, securing its fifth consecutive oversubscription during the Treasury Bill auction held on January 30, 2026. Investor appetite surges as government records fifth straight T-bill oversubscription in 2026, with latest auction oversubscribed by 144%, raising 12.306 billion cedis against the initial target of 6.997 billion cedis. This report has more.
The auction saw a massive influx of investor interest, with total offers reaching 17.106 billion cedis, nearly 114% more than the government's initial target of 6.997 billion cedis, a fifth straight oversubscription. Out of the total bids tendered, the government opted to accept 12.306 billion cedis across the 91-day, 182-day and 364-day tenors to manage its short-term debt obligations. Investor preference was spread across all three maturities, though the government remained selective in its intake to maintain fiscal balance. 91-day bill received bids totaling 5.909 billion cedis, with the government accepting 2.785 billion cedis at a yield of 10.83%. 182-day bill saw offers of 4.654 billion cedis, of which 3.549 billion cedis was accepted at a yield of 12.38%. 364-day bill, the longest tenor, proved highly popular, attracting 6.541 billion cedis in bids. Government accepted 5.971 billion cedis at a yield of 12.82%. This consistent oversubscription highlights a renewed confidence in the Ghanaian money markets. Analysts attribute the high demand to a sharp cooling of inflation, which fell to 5.4% in December 2025, a relatively stable CD, and monetary policy rates at 15.5%. The high liquidity in the banking sector has also played a crucial role as institutional investors look for a safe haven assets following the country's successful debt restructuring milestones.
And that was a 3 Business News Desk report. Before we leave you, consumer advocacy group Cuts International has raised concerns that recent policy rate cuts are failing to benefit ordinary consumers due to Ghana's prevailing cash and carry system. The consumer advocacy group noted that despite the Bank of Ghana reducing the policy rate from above 20% last year to 15.5% currently, the impact has not translated into improved access to credit for households. Now, speaking to 3 Business, West Africa Regional Director Kusi Adomako said the country's credit system needs urgent review to ensure that low and middle income earners can benefit from monetary policy decisions.
The policy rates is good, but one of the things is that in this country, few Ghanaians take credit. Everything that you need physical cash to buy. If you want to buy a car, about 95% of Ghanaians will need to have physical cash to be able to buy a car. If you want to buy anything, you need to have cash. And so when the policy rate goes down, it's good and it helps those in the formal sector who are currently who are on a regular income. Of course, the banks are also going to play around the reduced policy rate. And so it's good, but I don't think that it benefits so much of the people at the bottom, because for them, they need cash to buy cement, they need cash to buy roofing sheet, they need cash to buy everything. I mean, if you are borrowing from the bank, then that would have been good for you, but only few Ghanaians have access to borrowing money from the banks.
And you heard the West Africa Regional Director for Consumer Advocacy Group, Cuts International, Kusi Adomako, bringing an end to Business Daily here on 3FM 92.7. For more stories, check out our website. It's 3news.com/business. I am Michael Obudu. Thank you for tuning in. As always, please stay safe. Up next is Urban Blend, and Black Rasta is on standby. Do stay tuned.